Welcome back to the Artisan HQ. We are in full swing here on this project. I am spending so much money, it is scary right now, but we're making good progress and we're here to share it all with you guys. So hit the thumbs up button, let's get into it. Oh, this is the coffee machine. This is the Artisan coffee machine for the office, which is a very important addition, and I must admit I didn't actually check whether it's going to fit under the units, so we might have to do a little check on that in a second. Just spending so much money, like it's crazy. Just stupid stuff that you don't think about, right? Like we've got a meeting room and I'm like, oh, we need like a webcam, like conference room meeting webcam type thing. And you look at it and they're like £1,000 a pop, you know, for like a decent conference room meeting webcam solution. And because I always want the best, everything, like it's like Artisan, everything we do is the best. So when I'm buying stuff for our place, I want it to be the best, but it just makes everything so expensive.
So with the amount of office staff here, why do they have about 12 monitors each?
So there's 2 monitors each, there's 8 desks, so that's 16 monitors. And then we've got 2 additional monitors. There's going to be like a goods receiving computer that's going to go in here. So there'll be one for that, probably one for the server rack or something like that. I'm not quite figured it out yet, but a couple of spares. So after getting burgled last time, I'm taking security ultra seriously. And we had so many people reach out to us off the back of the break-in video offering help. And 2 of those people are here today showing me a system that they think is the top wireless burglar alarm system on the market. So I'm doing a bit of research to see if it's a good fit for us, and if we do go down that route, we'll probably do a dedicated video installing it. So let me know if that would be of interest to make a video about that. It looks really epic. This is Ajax stuff. So they're here showing me a little bit about it, and then I can make the decision whether we want to fit out this place with it all. Yeah, so show me how it works.
Okay, so with it now, it's just booting itself up, so it's turning itself on, it's talking to the Ajax cloud. Here you have your motion cam. This one is photo on demand.
So there's like a motion detected, it'll take 3 photos.
It can take 3 photos, or you can go in the app and take it yourself.
Okay.
And then you tap it and arm it.
Yeah.
And now that's armed the device, so now that will send a message and these will trigger. And with your roller shutter, we will use a door protect and it will go on the roller shutter, so 1 inch off the ground, it will set off your alarm.
Okay.
So I heard a commotion, I didn't know what was really going on, so there's already 7 people in the room, so I thought we'd add to it. So this is a classic thing, everyone just moves hands and talks, no one's actually listening to what anyone's saying, you're just moving hands, it looks like you're doing something.
Alright, so this is the plant room where all the main board and switch fuse is going to go. So we've got to run our 2 35mm 𝐼𝐸s out to where the inverter is. We're just looking at where the route is, where things are getting mounted, how much slack we need to leave basically. So we're going to come down this tray, along to the end and down, and then leave a bit of slack.
With all of these jobs, it's all in the planning. Measuring up, measure twice, cut once and all that, because everything has to look nice and be in the right place for all the cables running into the board to make sense, with enough room for future expansion. So the guys are busy just sort of planning it all out now. So that they can cut the trunking, prep everything, and then it'll go on the wall quite quickly. It's all the prep work, the devil's in the detail, as they say.
But this is like, you know, 60-minute makeover, but everyone's in here just doing stuff.
So while we're busy fitting the batteries and inverter, we've got the residual electrical team here as well, doing the distribution boards. It's a big week this week. There's so much going on because we've only got 10 days left before we're supposed to move in. So the guys are busy getting the boards sort of planned out, trunking in, everything mounted up so that we can start cabling, connecting circuits, and eventually livening things up. So we've gone with Schneider for all of our distribution boards, just because it's really good quality, built to last for these kind of settings. I didn't want to scrimp on quality. I have paid for these, it's not sponsored, but I just decided to go with this stuff because I know that it's kind of bulletproof and I wanted it to last, I wanted it to look good. Mike fits a lot of this stuff as well, so yeah, that's what we're going for.
We're going to do board here, trunk on either side, wrapping around, then we're going to tee off and go that way and just put an end on. I think it's going to be super tight in that corner to get everything on.
So windows are going in today. Of course, it's chucking it down with rain, typical. carpets are going to be going down today as well. So these guys have just been replacing the ceiling tiles in here, tidying up, ready for the carpet to go down. And the main area through there is just looking amazing. Let me show you. So this space is awesome. It's really echoey at the moment because of all the hard surfaces, but once the carpets go down and furniture goes in, it's going to be a bit better. The guys are here fitting the windows. So this is all the glass that's got to go in. It's all custom made, these windows, because we had to make them to match with the existing in the surrounding area. So it means that there's been a lot of waiting for these windows. They've taken about 8 weeks to actually be fabricated, but they're here now, which means that we're going to have natural light coming into the building, and it's sort of like the finishing touches on the outside of the building. So they've got the board on the wall and it's starting to look really good. As you can see, they've cut the trunking out either side. Everything's positioned nicely. And now it's just a case of doing all the little finishing touches with the trunking, getting the Paxil in, and then can start to actually run some cables into the board.
Plug it in.
Give it a little go. Hey, there we go. Oh, look at that. There we go. It's got a dimmer. Nice. Oh, so we can change the colour maybe as well. I'm going to unplug it and pack it away now before it gets all handprints and stuff on it. So we need to install an earthing disc for the backup earth, because this system is going to give us full building backup. So we've got the groundworks team in here installing a 𝐒𝐭𝐞 disc, which is an earthing disc made of conductive concrete. We use these as standard rather than earth rods because they're safer and they give a better earth reading. And while we're doing the groundworks, we're installing an EV block and some EV cables ready to have our own EV charger in place as well. So let's talk about data cabling for a second. Throughout this building, we have a ton of data cabling, and I'm just about to start making off some of these data sockets. So I want to show you in depth how we do it. We're using these toolless keystone jacks. Now all of our cabling is Cat 6, so it's important that you get Cat 6 keystone jacks as well. And before I start making these off, what I'm going to do, we've labelled them all just with a bit of Sharpie for the moment. So you can see this is labelled number 4. Now all of the general data points are red cables, so that's really easy to see what is what, which is good. But what I want to do is put a little bit of heat shrink tape over it just to identify which cable is which, even though it's tucked in the back of the socket. If anyone pulls it out later, they'll be able to clearly see which cable it is. So I'm going to put the heat shrink sleeving on with the labelling, then I'm going to put the keystone jack on. Then we put our little Euro module keystone plate in, so these click into that, and then that clicks into the faceplate of a main socket outlet essentially. So it's a little bit faffy, but let me show you the process. So a little tip for you guys, if you're using the label printers, it's quite good to just print out loads all in one strip, and then you can just cut them. It saves you wastage on the tapes, because sometimes it'll print like quite a big bit with a little blank piece and you end up with quite a lot of wastage. So the idea is you just line them up and then you push that on, and that is essentially doing the job of the tool for you. So then that goes on like that, and then you sort of bend that up and then it closes and grips on the cable. So what you do have to do, so you kind of do need a tool really, is just trim the ends off the wire. These are called flush cutters. Then you can cut the wires off nice and flush. And then that goes like that. That closes, clicks closed, and then we've got a nice solid connection on all of our cores. So these keystone jacks then fit into these keystone faceplate modules, and they just click in. Then you've got your data socket access there. And now we've just got to put our front plate on, and then we'll have a double data point ready to go. So it's the final week before we move into this build, but there's still a lot to do, but we have made a lot of progress. To be honest, I'm pulling my hair out a little bit, so I feel like we're really up against it to get it finished. But Friday we made big progress because the site was like a bomb had hit it, and we had a big old tidy up, a big organised, and we made room for all the furniture, which is arriving today, ready to get fitted later on in the week. So let me walk you around and show you where we're at with things. We've got our rainbow road with all of our data cables. There are a couple more data cables to add, I've realised, so we've got to work on that still. But I made big progress in the patch rack yesterday. Come and see this. I basically got the rack into its final position. So that's where it's going to be now, finally, which is great. But I had to change the wheels, the bigger wheels. And I found that somebody had broken the key off in the lock. But if you look up there, that is all the data cable that we've got to get terminated into here. It's like, I think over 100 Cat6 cables that we've got to terminate. So I'm gonna have a busy week at the end of this week, terminating all of those. Cameron here is busy fitting the LCMs, or lighting control modules. These are from Flex 7, and we're basically gonna be fitting our main feeds in and out of this, and then all the light fittings will have plugs on where they'll plug in, and we are making a dedicated video about the lighting here because there's quite a lot to talk about with that. But the LCMs are going on, so that's exciting progress. And Callum is starting to fit fire alarms, so let's have a look at that. These are our fire alarm heads. So what we do is we fit these plasterboard boxes into the ceiling. The fire alarm cables go into the back of those with some red stuffing glands, and then they all connect in to these fire alarm heads. Now this is a fully addressable fire alarm system, and this one, for example, is what we call a beacon base, so it lights up and flashes when the fire alarm's going off as well. Very noisy in the event of a fire, which is what you want. So the guys are busy getting all the smoke heads on and getting the fire alarm wired up and finished. We've got carpets going down everywhere as well. So in the reception, the carpet layers are busy fitting the carpets, and we've got carpets upstairs. It looks amazing, let me show you. Welcome to this amazing space. It's looking better and better every time I step into it. So you've got this lovely carpet down now, and it's slightly less echoey, which is good. Still a bit echoey. All of our cable trays and everything with the air conditioning units are now in place too. So the fire alarm heads are going to be going up in here. Soon we'll be ready for second fix, but the decorators have just got a little bit of touching up to do on the walls. And all of the furniture is arriving today for the desks, the chairs, the TVs are going to go on the wall. So much is happening this week. So that's just saved me ages grinding and filing this thing down. With the rod cutter you get a perfectly smooth finish, and it takes seconds. No heat, no noise, no sparks. Safer, better, work smarter. It's T-4 days until we move in, and it feels like we're still a fair way off, but we have made quite a lot of progress. Let me show you where we're at so far. So over here in the mains room, Mike's busy getting a few finishing touches done to the main distribution board. Over the next day or two, all of the cables are going to get buttoned away and wired into that board. We've got our main isolator here for the feed to the inverter, and then back from the inverter it goes into this distribution board. Big chunky main earth terminal there. It's going to be all of our bonding and main earthing conductors are going to go to there. All of our EV cables are in, but all of this stuff needs dressing back. Let's show you where we're at with the lighting. We've got lighting control modules in place now above the ceilings. Those are where the lights are going to plug into. So we've got these Flex 7 plugs. We've got to wire a flex cable into the light fitting, and then these just plug into the lighting control modules. So it makes it quite easy, flexible and adaptable when it comes to controlling and adding additional lighting later. There's a lot of these plugs to wire up. I think we've got about 50 of them. Through here, the decorators are putting some finishing touches to filling and basically getting the walls smooth, ready for painting. But they've already started painting the staircase, which is starting to look really good. It's actually going to be like a black colour, the staircase, and then some of these walls are going to be like a petrol blue, and then a couple of the other walls are going to be white. So it's going to look really smart in here, because this is the wow factor when you walk into the building. We want it to just look amazing. And on here we've got a couple of light boxes to go on with some of the artwork that we've taken from our project. So there's a triangular one that's going to go there and a square one that's going to go there, but we've got to actually get wires through to those because they're going to be illuminated. So lots of little details. Here in the studio, the decorators are prepping for the final coats of paint. And I've made a little bit of a last minute change on the green wall here. So originally, obviously, they've just covered the entire space, but what I wanted is to have a curtain so that we can cover the green wall up. And if we don't want the green wall visible, then it doesn't have to be. But that means the curtain's gonna have to go under here and span across there, which means ideally we need a strip of the normal color along the top and normal colour down the sides as well. So they're going to make a little bit of a change to the paintwork in here. We've got final lights up in here. So these are the Philips Signify lights. These have Interact Pro built into them as well, which is Philips's kind of commercial version of like the Philips Hue essentially. So we're going to be playing around with that and seeing how it all works, and there'll be a dedicated video all about the lighting in this project. And I've just seen the air conditioning guys have just turned up. Now these big condensers have got to go in on the outside still. There's 3 of them in total. So I'm hoping that they're going to start putting those up, because we need those to be in place in order to know where our power cables need to go for the isolators. So there's a little bit of like us relying on other trades and other trades relying on us. So there's a sub distribution board here, DB2, which is going to feed basically all of the circuits at this end of the building. So Ian's busy prepping all the metal work for that board, ready to get it on the wall. And then once it's on the wall, Mike is going to start buttoning away all of the cables. Again, there's quite a lot of circuits to go in here, and time is ticking. Upstairs, not a lot has changed since I last showed you guys around, but the smoke alarm bases are on, so that's good. I've started to get 1 or 2 socket faces on. We need to get the kitchen power on, because there's a kettle hot tap that's going in on Thursday, and they need power in order to commission that. And loads of furniture's arrived, let me show you. So here is a small amount of the furniture that's going in, but there's a load more arriving today, and it's basically all being stored in here at the moment. Thursday and Friday is when they're supposed to start assembling it, which means we've got a tight window of time to get the scaffold towers up and all the lighting done in the office area before there's suddenly furniture everywhere, and it makes the job a lot more complicated. So these are all the cables for the air conditioning circuits. So we've got 3 circuits. They're all single phase, I believe. And they're just going to run along with the pipes for the air conditioning and then go into some isolators, and then they'll feed back their units. I think they just feed them with this like SY cable, which I've always kind of been told is not really compliant or something. Let me know in the comments what you think about SY cable. I would have probably done it in HO7. But I guess it's a little bit tougher, more protected, which is probably why they use this stuff. So the actual aircon units themselves are going to go up high level, sort of between the windows there. So they're going to be getting like a frame of unistrut and everything to mount the air conditioning units onto. And then we'll have AC isolators somewhere just to be able to isolate them in case of maintenance. So our fire alarm panel is on. We've got a fire safety document holder thing here as well, which is going to have the logbook in and everything. This is going to be the red spur for the fire alarm system, as well as a call point. And then this is basically the document that shows the location of all the call points, the sounders, smoke heads, etc. So it's all been professionally done by a certified fire alarm company. We're just basically installing it, and they're here to do the commissioning, testing and certification for us. Now we're so close to the end of the project, but there's still a lot to do, and there's going to be a lot more videos coming. But if you haven't followed our journey from the start, there's a playlist which will link below where you can follow every video and every step throughout this project. But either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you on the next one.